For all you Warhammer 40k players out there, keep calm and hobby on. Welcome back to All About the Geek. I'm Jason Isaac, your Tyrant Director, and before we jump into today's discussion about kind of what to do while you're waiting these next 3 weeks for the Warhammer 40k 9th edition to drop, just want to remind you that I stream every Sunday night, and if you want to talk about my feelings on 9th edition or any of the other videos that I've posted, feel free to join me at twitch.tv/allaboutthegeek. Link is in the description below. Okay, we're about 3 weeks away from the new edition of Warhammer 40,000 or 40k. And Games Workshop has been spoon feeding us tidbits of information over the last few weeks, and then on Thursday they dropped the complete basic rule set. And all of these things have caused some consternation in the community. Some people are angry, some people are sad, some people are concerned that their meta armies are no longer the bee's knees. The fact that your army is changing how it works is actually a good thing. Let's take a cue from the lore of Warhammer 40k, specifically from Jagatai Khan, Primarch of the White Scars. His advisor, Takusai Sugai, would often ask the Great Khan, "What will you do once you have conquered all of the Altak, all of Chagoris?" And the Khan of Khans would reply that he would let it all go, for to sit behind walls and stagnate would be a slow death. Something that maybe the Emperor should have thought about. Irony should not be lost on us. Okay, I've been playing 40k since 3rd edition, sometime in the late 90s. And honestly, all of my gaming experience started at that point. Whether it was 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, 2nd edition of Shadowrun, I was playing Battletech, Warzone, and Rifts. And out of all of the gaming I did, the 3 that thrived the most all changed over that time. We're now in the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, 6th edition of Shadowrun came down last year, and now we're heading into the 9th edition of Warhammer 40k. New editions do so many great things for the community. It provides a great launching point for new players who, let's say if they're coming in at the tail end of 8th edition here, are at such a disadvantage from the number of rules they need to learn, the books that are available, and competitively they just can't compete unless they spend weeks poring over, 6 or 8 tomes to figure out what's the right way to play. Additionally, a new edition provides an opportunity to streamline some of those rules, clean up the phases and the turn order, and introduce some new options. A new edition always gets joined with a box set that provides a ridiculous value to the community. This 9th edition is no exception, with a box set that rumored is going to come in around $200 US, probably about $250 Canadian for those of us up here. And the value of the models inside is rumored to be somewhere around 3 times that, $600 to $700 for the model kits that are in there. We don't actually know the pricing of any of this stuff, so it's a bit of speculation, but undoubtedly it's going to be worth buying. Even if you don't like Necrons or Primaris models, they provide a great base for test painting things, or even just as an intro set to teach new players how to play. Obviously, these changes are going to impact the more competitive scene by changing how the top armies are going to work, and hopefully, for a time at any rate, provide some much needed game balance. Although, let's be clear, I don't expect that to last more than about 6 months. So, while we are waiting for July 25th and the new box set to come in, here are some do's and don'ts that I want you to keep in mind. First, don't panic. There's no point. You don't know what's actually going to happen, so there's no point in tearing your hair out. I did that years ago, and it still hasn't grown back. Do paint your minis in your terrain. No one likes seeing those plastic gray minis flooding across a plastic gray battlefield. You've got some time, maybe put away your 8th edition books for a moment and just get some painting done. Don't rant online about how your army is going to be nerfed. And honestly, after the full rules are released, don't argue about how it has been nerfed. Every army, I believe, can be competitive regardless. It may be harder, for sure. You may not throw as many dice as some of your opponents. But at the end of the day, if you play your army right, and if you play the scenario right, you can win with pretty much any force. Do support your favorite local gaming store by pre-ordering. Don't order it online. Contact your FLGS. I'm sure they've got pre-orders set up. Finally, do spend some time with your loved ones. Let's face it, once July 25th hits and that box drops, you're going to be spending the next 3 to 4 weeks poring over page after page of that musty tome and painting the new models and getting all ready for what 9th edition is going to bring you. My honest take on any new edition is to not worry about the ways in which the rules are going to change. Games Workshop has provided us all of the basics right now, released on Thursday, and there's not any information about special rules that your force might have. And aside from that wee snippet they produced to kind of bring the blood pressure down on the Tau players regarding Overwatch, there's been no faction rules dropped. So it's unfair to judge the new edition just yet and say that it's the worst thing ever, or my army's trash, don't burn your models, don't melt them down. It's all going to be okay. Every new edition brings change, and change is good. Zinch will tell you that for sure. All right. Once the new edition does drop, read all the rules clearly and concisely. Every bit, all of the sentences, not just the first bit, oh, this is how it worked before. No, you must unlearn what you have learned about past editions. I'll be making some how-to play videos, and I will really focus on following the rules as they're laid out in the book for each phase, each scenario, and with that, hopefully, I'll personally unlearn everything I have from 7 previous editions of playing. All right, now some last thoughts about what I saw in the rules on Thursday. I think the biggest takeaway has to be the concept of the compressed data sheet. This sheet with no text on it, aside from the numeric values and everything represented by glyphs, leads me to believe that Games Workshop is finally moving towards including a unit card in the box set. They've done this a little bit with some of the things in the past, but when you're dealing with multiple languages and regions that don't use the Romani alphabet, it's really challenging because you've got to produce either multiple copies of that data card in every box or multiple different boxes for different regions. This move to a glyph-based system, very similar to what we saw with the Warcry boxes, is a huge improvement and something that GW has been needing to do for years. I really hope this is a signal that they're going to move away from replacing book after book, year after year, and instead just give us better models more frequently with the rules included. We'll have to wait and see what the core rulebook says, because clearly all of the special rules like cover and how units like the Tau with their Overwatch special ability, are those going to be represented with glyphs as well? That would mean that they can really move away from text-based unit cards. That would be amazing. Okay, so if you want to see those how to play videos that I've got lined up, or you just want to find out more about my thoughts on 9th edition once I've had a chance to read all the rules, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. It really does help. That's it for now. As always, work your wonk, wash your hands, keep calm, but above all else, keep it geeky.